This follows victories secured across all the 4 parliamentary seats that had fallen vacant as a result of court rulings. State Minister for Information and National Guidance Godfrey Kabyanga says that the victories were as a result of demystifying opposition.
I think one of the reasons is the organizational capacity of NRM. And there is no election which is a walkover. Every election is a serious contest, because everybody who participates in it is participating to win. So nobody should tell you that, it was a walkover. Even if a candidate goes unopposed, that means there must be background activities which must have taken place before that happened. Because you can't have a constituency where only one person will just offer himself and the rest keep quiet. So I think the organization capacity of the NRM Secretariat is one of the reasons why we are winning these elections. They prepare well for an election, and they now look at every election as a serious contest. I think that one has really made NRM win. And then the way they are linking up with the local leaders. It's not now an issue of coming from Kampala to tell the local leaders how they should do campaign. Now the leaders of NRM listen first of all to the leaders they have found on the ground, and they fit their program in the program of those local leaders.
Now, Uganda Investment Authority has acquired over 1,000 acres of land in the districts of Kamuli and Soroti. State Minister for Finance in charge of investment and privatization, Evelyn Anite, is optimistic that by 2025, government will have met its target of youth employment through industrial development. Minister Anite, who was accompanied by a team from Uganda Investment Authority in the East African Land Mobilization, first held a stakeholders meeting in Jinja where they interfaced with the domestic investors. They later proceeded to Kamuli and Soroti respectively, where they acquired over 1,000 acres of land for development of industrial parks.
Zero. That means Tembo still is in a, for me, this was the vision of the president, and I'm going to report to him that we've gotten this great news for us as a country. Finally, we've broken through. We have a company called Tembo Steels that is doing value addition on our iron ore from Muko, and they're making the steel quality that we'll need for the international market as we had always envisaged. And that means that we have to give you more incentives. They are the biggest consumer of electricity, and therefore they are in the top 10 taxpayers. They pay 5.7 billion in electricity per month. And yes, we have piloted the 5 cents electricity for our large manufacturers and extra large, but they're above extra large. So they have to get even that 4 cents. We should give it to them at the production. And these are things that I will discuss with my appointing authority, His Excellency the President. But Mr. President, I have the good news. We are now doing value addition.
Still, it is pure because it is devoid of tramp elements, because there are no tramp elements. But with this scrap also, it is very much possible to make. As we are the only manufacturer in the region, I could easily say that steel coming from this zone is the purest. Other than that, it is not.
Because we have this raw material, and we are going to have so many manufacturers in the steel verticals who come here, it means that we are going to have huge market to serve. He has told you that the only other steel company that does something like this is in Egypt, and another one is in South Africa. So they don't have the capacity of the 1.4 1.3 to 1.4 billion people in Africa. So Uganda is going to be the nerve center now of supplying, you know, the entire region.
Now, early this morning, 13 people were confirmed dead and over 30 injured after a truck that was carrying traders veered off the road and fell into the swamp along Moroto Highway in Aten Town Council in Amuria district. According to sources, the truck carrying over 50 traders was covered with a tarpaulin which covered the occupants after falling into the swamp, and this led to suffocation among other injuries. The survivors have been rushed to Soroti Hospital for emergency care. We are gathering more information to this story to share with you in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has asked members of Parliament to work together in order to deliver effective services for their regions. Tayebwa was gracing the traditional marriage of Agnes Linda Auma, a daughter of the late Chief of Staff, Major General David Oyite Ojoks, who is also the District Woman MP of Lira District.
According to historical norms, a traditional marriage is a requirement in establishing a family irrespective of one's status.
Thank you for accepting to love the way I am.
Agnes Linda Uma, the daughter of the late Chief of Staff David Oyito Jok, also the woman MP for Lira District, convened a clan of Atekangulo to receive her soulmate. Peter Ojuru, who lost in the previous mayoral race for Soroti City, was in Loro to deliver the bride prize for the love of his life. The ceremony was graced by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa.
Linda was introduced to me by His Excellency the President when I was the Chief Whip as one of his most trusted cadres. Our country has reconciled to the extent that the daughter of the late General Oyito Jok is President Museveni's most trusted cadre.
Thank you so much. The multi-million event brought together several members of Parliament and government officials, a spirit Tayebwa urged members to embrace even in delivering services to the people.
You can see from the number of MPs who are here. These MPs have formed a stronger team from opposition to NRM. I hope you don't plan to interfere with this team because it's a winning team and it's a team which is going to deliver for Lango.
Meanwhile, the chairperson Lang Parliamentary Group, Judith Aliek, expressed bitterness over the manner in which teenage girls are being married off in the watch of their parents. Aliek called on Ugandan parents to prepare their daughters early to make the lifelong commitment.
They drop out of school and then they marry problems. They marry challenges, and this is what we are talking about. We avoid domestic violence, we avoid child marriage, we avoid killing of the spouses. Even in Ilango here, women are killing men and some men are also killing women as a result of domestic violence. This is something that we should avoid.
Marriage is a cornerstone of a stable society, but the decision of who and when to marry is what many are still grappling with. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Now, people with psychosocial disabilities face several forms of violence, abuse, inhuman and degrading treatment on basis of disability that strips them their basic rights. The Executive Director Transforming Communities for Inclusion, Dr. Bagavi Dava, says globally, people with psychosocial disabilities are underrepresented and have fallen victim of oppressive laws, stigma, and general abuse.
People with psychosocial disabilities face stigma and discrimination with barriers against exercising their civil, economic, social and cultural rights. The Executive Director, Transforming Communities for Inclusion, Dr. Bagavi Dava, says much needs to be done to leverage opportunities of persons with disabilities with the rest of the society.
So there has been a worldwide discussion on legislations, creating enabling legislations. It is a peculiarity of many Commonwealth nations to have mental health laws. Countries which are not Commonwealth do not have mental health laws. So in the policy environment, there must be some efforts by Commonwealth nations to dismantle mental health legislation and bring persons with disabilities into mainstream disability laws, which are positive rights laws. Mental health laws are mostly penal. They are many centuries old in Commonwealth nations, and they make us into some kind of criminals. So we want to be liberated from mental health legislation and brought into mainstream laws and policies. For example, disability legislation and any other policies which impact us, the labor policies, the justice law policies, climate change policies, education policies. We must be found in all policies which are common to all citizens of a country.
Dorothy Nakato Mubezi, a fellow with Transforming Communities for Inclusion Global, says they are partnering with Triumph Uganda, Mental Health and Recovery Program, and Uganda National Self-Advocacy Initiative to empower people with psychosocial disabilities in marginalized communities.
What do we need as persons with psychosocial disabilities? We need inclusion. We need to be included and fully participate in the communities on equal basis with others.
The President, Transforming Communities for Inclusion Global, Robina Arambuya, says people with psychosocial disabilities face several forms of violence on the basis of disability that calls for stakeholders' attention to address the vice.
This time we have come with TCI. The first time TCI is coming to Uganda. We've come with a new approach for inclusion, that is transforming communities for the inclusion of persons with psychosocial disabilities. We just want to see that the communities are transformed, systems are put in place, support systems, support services for us, persons with psychosocial disabilities and other people with mental health conditions, to stay within their communities, communities of their choice, where they can be supported and we live together with other people enjoying all the opportunities on equal basis. So Transforming Communities Uganda mission is just one of the missions, the first missions on the African continent.
Transforming Communities for Inclusion provides a global platform for people with psychosocial disability to advocate for disability inclusion within the community.
Now, Ministry of Health, together with World Vision, has opened a newly maternity ward at Busia Health Center 4 in Busia District. The ward was opened by Dr. Olalo Charles, Director of Clinical Services, on behalf of the Ministry, the Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Rothocheng.
Over 100 mothers give birth at Busia Health Center 4 in Busia District monthly. It is for this reason that Ministry of Health, together with World Vision, have built a maternity ward to cater for these mothers. While opening the maternity ward that was built at a cost of 385 million, the Director of Clinical Services, Dr. Olalo Charles, asked the beneficiary to make good use of the ward. Dr. Olalo also revealed the ministry's intention to address issues of maternal health in Busia District.
I'm happy to note that this facility is a high volume. As management were finalizing the new staffing structures for all these facilities, from health center 3 to the national hospitals. And in our thinking, we definitely would want to upgrade, to expand this health center, the health center force. And we might change the nomenclature for it to become probably community community hospital.
The head of Busia Health Center for Dr. Yusuf Lule, however, decries the challenge of limited human resource at the facility.
Our structure is limited. Right now, we are full to capacity. Our ceiling, especially for critical cadres, has reached its capacity. So we are requesting that you allow us to have more recruitment. Letters have been submitted.
The Associate Director Programs at World Vision, Kadobole Moses, promised more support to the health sector.
We are contributing towards fulfillment of one of our goals, which is to see increased number of children that are well nourished and those that are protected from injury and diseases.
The town clerk Busia Municipal Council Baganzi Ronald commended World Vision for supporting them whenever it comes to addressing health issues.
No health services have no boundaries. Our catchment area is so big. We are thinking that the challenges that he has briefly shared with us, that the ministry should be able to take them up, because each time the population is increasing.
Beneficiaries of the maternity ward applauded World Vision and government for enhancing maternity care.
Eddwaliro lyaffe tulyagadde nnyo era tusaba gavumenti bongere okutuzimbirayo eddwaliro eddala.
Naye kati tubadde twagala batongereremuko n'eddagala nalyo.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Now, Rwenzori sub-region youth have celebrated the International Youth Day at the ceremony held in Fort Portal City. The Youth Day celebrations were officiated by the Woman Member of Parliament Rwabuhoro Flavia, the Chairperson Parliamentary Committee on Gender, also Member of Parliament Chegegwa District.
Youth in Rwenzori sub-region this weekend gathered in Fort Portal Tourism City to mark the International Youth Day. The Woman Member of Parliament Chegegwa officiated the function, also graced by Fort Portal City Member of Parliament Alex Ruhonda.
Young people may not be seen as a single demographic unit, but they must be considered as a broad category encompassing many specific subgroups.
The youth presented a petition to Flavia Rabuhoro, who is the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Gender, during the celebrations organized by Kabarore Research and Resource Center.
The government should intensify supervision, monitoring and enforcement of services of extension workers to make sure they deliver to the expectations of the youth in agriculture, marketing and other taxpayers. This is our petition here down.
I hereby receive this petition from the young people of Rwenzori region, which I will at an opportune time present on the floor of Parliament on behalf of the young people of Rwenzori region.
Rabuhoro urged the youth to work hard, behave well and avoid early marriage. She advised the youth against seeking jobs abroad because Uganda has everything and they can make money here.
Honorable Honda Chigambiri, of any nation, that we need to be proud of them. Not only are they legitimately regarded as future leaders, young women and men are potentially and actually vital resources.
In their petition, the youth asked government to support them benefit from programs like Parish Development Model.
In a group so that the government can fund you. Esteem and confidence among ourselves.
The Member of Parliament Fort Portal City, Alex Ruhonda, advised youth against temptations that might lead them into sickness.
God gave you the brain to make a choice. You make a decision of what you are going to be.
The Rwenzori sub-region Youth Day celebrations was characterized by innovation demos, indicating what they are able to do with their hands.
All the youth region munu sobora kugenda kuvuga tractor agenda agivuge wa kusobora kugenda kukuta stoha. The regional level we bring more investors, more buyers.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
It's time for us to take a short break. Do not go away. Stay with us.
MTN Kabode Super as you pay Mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance Mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using Tugabane. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and the ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Welcome back. Let's turn to business, where the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has hailed the growing relationship between Pakistani and Uganda exhibited by the trade volumes. Tayebwa indicated that Uganda, in the past financial year, exported goods worth $30 million to Pakistan, as the country did import goods worth $20 million. Tayebwa expressed interest at having an export market for Uganda tea and cotton to Pakistan in exchange for technology. In the light of Pakistan's posting of a substantive ambassador to Uganda, the Deputy Speaker celebrated this development as a sign of a growing relationship between Uganda and Pakistan.
Yes.
National anthem of Pakistan.
Uganda and Pakistan has been growing. In 2020 alone, Pakistan exported to Uganda goods worth around $30 billion, and Uganda exported to Pakistan goods worth around $28 million. Now this shows you, this has been growing at a steady rate of over 18% per annum, and that is thanks to the community of Pakistan in Uganda. Now that we have an ambassador, now that we have upgraded our relationship to ambassadorial level, I do believe we are going to focus on trade, especially in areas where Uganda has a very big interest. We want to export more tea to Pakistan. We have some of the best tea as a country. We want to export more tea to Pakistan. We have been putting a lot of effort in cotton production. We want to export more cotton to Pakistan. We want to ensure that.
And of course, those are some of the pictures there where the Pakistani community in Uganda joined together to celebrate the 75th independence anniversary. Yeah, that was a ceremony organized by Cone International Academy. Now, moving ahead, State Minister for Northern Uganda, Grace Chiyuchwinyi, has urged Ugandans in the region to utilize the ongoing infrastructural development projects in the economic sense to lower the high poverty indices. Grace was at a groundbreaking event for business infrastructure facilities in Madi Okolo district funded by the World Bank, where she called upon locals to quickly take up the opportunities under the parish development model and emphasize that the Northern Uganda Social Active Fund 4 is also in the offing as a further affirmative economic impetus to the region.
Madi Okolo is part of the heart-rich areas in West Nile, now benefiting from new modern markets and resource centers aimed at easing the burden of locals and refugee communities. However, there is a need to ensure increased economic activities, in particular agricultural production and value addition, if the new infrastructure is to make a gainful impact on the locals.
Because when the government has done this is infrastructure. It may not get you out of poverty, but the parish development model is designed to get us out of poverty. NUSA 4 is also designed to get us out of poverty because it is going to give you resources. It is going to strengthen you in your farming, in your business, in whatever you are doing, so that you get more income.
The state minister in charge of northern Uganda, together with other leaders, were speaking during the groundbreaking for various projects in Madi Okolo, funded by the World Bank through the Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development, AF.
Out of all the contractors, we have 8. I think we have quite a few of them who qualified to be from the region. But that does not stop any other Ugandan from getting the projects. Now that they have got the projects, from my visits, I made it known to them that the benefits of these projects should go to the local community. And I want to plead for your support to reinforce this. That where possible, the women and the children and the qualified people from the community should be able to benefit from this project. I'll be able to pursue that entirely.
Contractors undertaking the various civil works, in spite the noted delays in the progress of the constructions, are being cautioned against corrupting local government officials and shoddy works.
You win, I win, government wins, everybody wins, and the people of Madi win. Then they can give you more contracts. Yes, and more is coming. This time we're going to assess it depending on the quality of work you have done. Very seriously. Not these people they call procurement officer who lock themselves. Then this one is qualified. No. This time we shall say, how has he qualified?
Among the district benefiting from the financing for infrastructure such as markets, resource centers and youth-related facilities includes Terego, Yumbe, Ajman, Obong, Moyo and Lamo, among others.
Yumbe's district chairman Asiku Abdul Mutwalib has decried on the slow works of the various socio-economic projects such as modern markets, resource centers and recreational facilities. At 32 billion shillings, Yumbe district in West Nile is the largest recipient of the World Bank funded under the Urban Infrastructure Development that targets refugee hosting districts. He was speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony for various projects worth $10 million being funded through the Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development.
Lomonga Market in Yombe district is part of the various projects worth 32 billion shillings, currently under construction, but with local leaders admitting that performance remains low.
Less than 10 billion. And therefore, Yombe takes the biggest chunk of the resources under USMID additional funding. We are extremely grateful to Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development for loving the people of Yombe district and allocating the biggest chunk of the resources under USMID to Yombe.
Among the projects being undertaken include modern markets, resource centers and recreational facilities worth 32 billion shillings, financed by the World Bank, but with low absorption, drawing concerns.
We have the money and whatever we have not received yet will be received. So whichever money has been confirmed as coming to Yombe will certainly come. I'm sure the leaders among you are aware of some of the monies that have been going back to Minister of Finance. That should not be a problem. Whatever money is supposed to be received will be received. Now, it would be shame on us if all the monies are available and then the projects are not concluded in time, and then these monies either have to be lost to yourselves or to even to this program, and they end up maybe getting utilized by other entities.
State Minister in charge of urban development, Obiga Kanya, who was inspecting the progress and groundbreaking of the civil works under the USMID refugee funding component within the West Nile region, urged for quality work, the delays notwithstanding.
We give them money. Our problem is not the money. Our problem is the speed at which they bid. These people's problem is to make sure that the projects are properly done. A good job. These are not projects for Yombe only, these are projects for all of us.
Other sub-counties undertaking the ongoing current civil works in Yombe include Kululu, Odravu and Ariwa combined, complementing the 32 billion shillings project.
And in sports, Terego District's Leisure Town Council is home to a new 1.1 billion shillings multi-purpose sports complex under funding from the World Bank. Expected to be completed by January 2023, the ultra-modern facility will have a football field, a jogging track, baseball, and then tennis and volleyball courts. It is being funded by the World Bank under the Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development Additional Funding Program. Officiating at the groundbreaking event, State Minister for Urban Development, Obiga Kanya, advised that the project should ensure that the developer 3K Construction Company should have their eyes on quality assurance levels possible during the civil works. The minister also encouraged that there be extensive greening also with indigenous tree species of the sports facility in order to improve on the environment within the complex. The sports complex is part of the interventions deemed fit by the refugee host district in developing such facilities so as to promote unity and talent development among the youth.
The first thing we're going to do is organize them into clubs, various football clubs, netball, talk about the other games.
They love games, but they are not organized in groups. The first thing we're going to do here is to form clubs that can come and use this facility here and make them busy. And again, this will also be somehow a psychosocial support, because many of them are a little bit frustrated in terms of lack of jobs, in terms of lack of other income-generating activities. So this sports facility here will help in many areas. Even health-wise, and education, we do not have any good facility here in Terego. But once we host like district tournaments, this can be a good place because we have 2 pavilions which will host and provide site for the whole of this place here.
This place will be very well used. We have so many children who want activities, not only football and these other sports. When those sports come all up to the district level, they should have a wonderful site. But even their social activities, when the place is not being used for playing football and all these other stuff, they can use it for social activities, weddings, for celebrations. Actually, it is a stadium. It's not just a playground, it is a stadium where people can stage functions like they do it in Nambole. So I'm really dying that they should finish it very quickly. For the use, I'm 100% sure it is very, very good. And I want it to be finished to the best standards. The pavilion, the cover, the opening, and places where people can put tents and use it, the whole district. And you know, Terego is one of the largest districts in area, 1,161 square kilometers. So it needs such a facility.
And that does bring us to the end of our lunchtime news. Thank you so much for sharing your lunch with us. A very good afternoon to you. I'm Patricia Lokoma-Mpango.